Good morning. Right, I'm going to show you how to put coach passengers into this locomotive. Now the important thing is to make sure you have the right tools and the right screwdrivers. Now this takes Phillips, so we undo and I use a pair of tweezers to pull this out. I'll try to. I've got a pair here that will do the job. And you take your time. Where's that gone? Right, I managed to find the screw, but what I'm going to do to facilitate this is I'm going to remove there you go. Don't be afraid to remove anything if you have to do it to make something happen easier. So again, Phillips screw. I think I might need a smaller one maybe. Here we go. Tweezers, and that's how you do it. Now, same for all locos, make sure you follow the instructions for taking this apart, because with this one I'll just point out, I know it's not the main aim of the video, but the instructions make it look like it's these screws you've got to unscrew, when in fact it screws down here. So let's go. That's not the right size. That's it. There we go. You can feel when they come loose because they'll rattle around. There we go. Now for putting crew in locomotives, it's different for every one, so don't take it that because it's like this on this loco, it's the same for them all, because it's not. Some of them are a doddle. Some of them I've put crewing through the window. Some of them I've taken the body off and I've slid them in a gap through the back with curved tweezers. So it's different ways of doing it. Now, what I do now with this model is I turn it over and off it comes, and the screws are probably underneath it. Now the next thing I do is I will take the cab off the body, so it's just gently pulling there, careful not to damage anything, gently pull and move and it will come off, and there you go. So what I'm going to do now, so I'm going to pass the chassis to Susan, and here we have the cab of the locomotive, and here I've got the 4 screws. There we go, all in the pot. This is where the fun starts and you've got to be careful. Now with some locos you do have a hole here where you can feed them in, and the same on the other side here, they do have a hole. Now I'll show you how you do this, and I know this because I've done this before, is you just gently pull it out. It's got a couple of notches there that hold it in, and there we go, and there's the cab. And I'll show you again with the other one, and you be gentle with this, you don't fist it. So I know that it's got a couple of catches in there, so I just gently pull it, not going mad, it will come out. There you go, there's one. And there's the other, and it will, and I say you just do it gently, you don't go mad, and there we go. And I've actually managed to take the back out as well, but that's not hard to put back. That just goes in. Oh, I see. That will actually come out, and I've actually taken that out as well which I didn't want to do. Just to show you, there is where the cab lights are, you see there, that's how they're operated, and this will go back fairly easily. Now, I don't know whether you can see here, but there's like little slots there that go into slots on the locomotive. Anyway, now what I use for crew is Bachmann seated coach passengers 36-408. They range from between 14 quid and 17 quid a pack. And I use these, and they're so small it's difficult to see. But I use these because they've no legs, I haven't got to do any amputations. And you just put them in the seat. Now I hope you can see this. I'm going to see if I can put her in. What you do is you measure up first. Now, unfortunately, even these seated coach passengers, the base of them is too long to go into the seat. Now, you can either file them, or I just clip the bottom of the legs off, like so. And here, like so. And then I measure up again. And there she goes in the cab. And the thing is, you're not going to see these through the grass really clearly. And what is the point in spending a lot of money when you're just going to do an amputation? And it's as simple to put in. I use PVA glue, simple stuff, curved tweezers, glue on the base, and the driver goes here. Nearly got that wrong there on camera. And you pop the driver into the seat, and there he is. Make sure his back's up against the seat. There we go. And the same with the, I put a driver on in each end so that it looks realistic when you've got the loco going round in either direction. And there you go. And all you do is I would leave them to dry for 20 minutes before you reassemble, because the last thing you want to do is put it all back together. These aren't really designed, these locos, to be pulled apart consistently and be messed with. There we go, she's in the cab. Make sure she's looking in the right direction, or that you can see where she's looking, but it doesn't matter. Because you're not going to see in the glass, you're just going to see like the outline of a figure. And this loco on analogue, there's no cab lights anyway. You have to have the cab lights work, even though they're there. You have to digitalise it, and I'm messing this up, chatting away. Let's get her in the seat, and that to me looks about right. He's about right. And what I've also done on some occasions is I've put two people in. In fact, what I'll do, because it's an engineering train and you'll probably have somebody observing, is I'll put another crew member in. And I've got a load of these critters here, these seated coach passengers. Here's somebody in a suit. So you go, take that back. Got somebody in a suit here which you may have watch. So again, I've tried to put him in. No, his legs are too long, or that part of him's too long. You're not going to see his hands or anything. Can I get him in the seat? No. Further amputation required. But it's nothing to worry about because you're not going to see anyway. There we go. I get the glue. In he goes. In fact, I've seen on engineering trains people where you've got more than one person. And as I say, they're seated coach passengers. They're not drivers, but they don't all wear hats when they're driving. And there we go. So I've got two there, one in the other cab, and we'll leave everything to dry and we'll come back to it. Thank you for watching. Okay, right, we'll start putting this back together. Now the first thing you need to do is make sure that the back plate is sitting correctly. Otherwise the crew will not go correctly into the cab. So, and the thing to remember is be gentle, don't fist it, don't go mad with it. We know where this has got to go, so you take your time, and what you have to do is make sure that the plastic, I don't know if you can see, is level with here, because that's how it goes. Now a tip, if you're doing something for the first time and you're not sure how to do it, a good tip is to take loads of pictures with your mobile phone. Then you can see exactly what's going on. And there we go. That's it. It's that simple. Just double check it's in. Yeah, that's in there. Don't be afraid to... Oh no, it's not quite in there yet. Yes, it is. Actually, that's not quite right. So what you have to do, don't be afraid. I'm going to take that out and have a look at it again. But the thing is, you don't rush this. You don't go and make sure that that's not incorrect. There you go. That wasn't incorrectly. That wasn't incorrectly there. So that's why it wouldn't sit right. And hopefully you can just see the little tab holes here where the cab goes. And as I say, you take your time. You don't rush it. Something's moved out of place, you put it back. And I go again. And I know that has to go in there. Now why won't that go? Okay, maybe I should put it in the other side first. That goes, oh, that was easy. There we go, and that's perfect. And hopefully you can see that is dead level on there, the way it fits. And you take your time. You don't force it, you don't rush it. And what's important with this is because there's a screw that holds the cab on at the bottom, that makes it more important. Now we'll go to this part here. Now when you put this part back, make sure the wires for the cab lights, show you, are still in place, so you're not going to crush them, because you crush them and break them, that's a solder job. So I'm going to try and show this the best I can on camera, putting this back in. Obviously I'm not going to put the video before my loco, because there we go, push it back in, there we go. And look, you can see that the tabs are all lined up, and hopefully you can see that the wires are all clear, so I'm not going to damage the cab lights. While this is not digital at the moment, I will digitalise it at some stage. Being really honest, when I can afford to spend a lot of money on the decoder. Now, so, same as before, you line it up. Line it up with the back, and that was it. There you go. And that was easy. There you go, and you can, hopefully, let's turn this round. You can see that the plastic here is all lined up flat. Make sure all the tabs are in line. Make sure that the body, yeah, that is right. Make sure that the body is flush, because you don't want the body gaping because the tabs aren't in. And importantly, because it has a screw at the bottom that holds it down, you make sure it goes together. And there, hopefully you can see, we have our lady in one cab and we have our two drivers in the other. I'm just looking at them. Yeah, they're pretty good. Thank you for watching. Right, you've seen we've put the crew in, and now we're going to put it back together. Now the important thing is is make sure the cab goes on the way it came off. I knew that that vent goes this side. Some locos, maybe even this, have such subtle differences that if you put the cab on the wrong way, it will not go on properly. So, first thing we do is we connect the cab lights. Simple job. Make sure they line up correctly, which I am. And they go like so. So that was easy. And the next one exactly the same. Push them down, and there we go. Now, when you put this on, see if I can turn it round a bit, so you could just be able to see here. Make sure the wires go in between here. You don't want to crush wires in between screws. Can you see that? So, put this back on. Make sure the wires are free of the holes, which I have, and you drop the there you go, onto the loco chassis, and you do it gently. If you feel anything soft there, then you know you've put it together wrong. And the next challenge is putting the screws in. I'll try and move it forward so you can see. Now what I'm going to do, like I did earlier on the other one, is I'm going to just gently take off the hook. Need a smaller screwdriver here, or the NEM coupling. Because it's going to make it easier for me to put the small screw in. Now, where are they? Here they are. Now the small screw holds down the cab, and this is where you really need a pair of tweezers. Let's see if I can dig one. Here we go. You need a pair of tweezers to put this into place. Don't be afraid to move things to facilitate doing something, because over the long run it's a lot easier. Now, this is going to be a little bit difficult to show you now. And I'll put this in here. That's too large, I need a smaller screw. There we go, that's about the right size. So I use the tweezers. I think that might be in the hole already. There we go, and I screw it in. There we go, nice and easy. As I say, it really is difficult to show you because I'm more interested in getting the loco right, because obviously there's not the money in the video to pay for a loco that are broken. And I'll try and show you here. There's a screw hole here, and I just gently put it in, get the screwdriver, and there we go. So they're in there. Now, because the screws here, they go down these holes, you can imagine the hassle it is dropping them in. So what I do is I get myself some blue tack, stick the screwdriver in it, and attach the screw when I've got enough. Now once you've got the blue tack on, it sticks to it, you push it in the hole, and there you go, not too tight. Now you can see the blue tack's holding it, push it in the hole, there we go. Right, I've got the blue tack onto this, gently guide it into the hole. You don't go mad, just do it tight enough. Right, I've got the blue tack here onto this screw, and I'm going to guide it in. There we go, it's in the hole. Tighten it up but don't go mad, and there we go. And we're done. And to finish off, I'll put the NEM couplings back on, push them down, that's an easy job. And there we go. And we have the crew there. And we have them there. And that's all finished. I'll just video with it on the track, just showing you, give you a better idea of what it's all about. Here's a nice shot of the two crew members in the cab. And you can see they do look pretty good and make a difference to the loco. Here you can see the side-on view of the driver in the cab, and even without cab lights it does make a difference. It really is worth doing, putting crew into a locomotive. Bachmann used to always put a driver at one end of their locos. For some reason they do not anymore. Anyway, thank you for watching, and I hope you've enjoyed this video. Thank you.